Hi guys, should we feel sorry for Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the Conservative Party, because she's so desperate for anything to push back against Labour, to push back against reform, that she's going around cherry-picking policies from other countries around the world and saying, hey, these we can use as Conservative policies to make Britain great or something like that. So she's now attempting to emulate, or she wants to emulate, the president of Argentina and say, well, we should do what he's doing. But unfortunately, as Ian Dale will point out, there are a few problems with that.
Which of his policies do you admire?
Living within your means. As a country, we are not living within our means. We're spending £100 billion on the interest on our debt, not the debt.
Okay. First of all, why is debt so high? Because the Conservatives and the previous administration, but the Conservatives in particular, decided what we're going to do is we're going to run up a debt, and that debt is going to go to be spent on the private sector. It's not investment for infrastructure, investment for the NHS. It's actually money that's been shoveled into the pockets of the rich and the private sector. So what's happening is debt is rising, and where that debt is going, it's going to fund private businesses, shareholders, and the luxury lifestyles of the rich. It should actually be going into the public sector. It should be going into infrastructure, but it's not.
Interest on the debt, that's more than we spend on defence, on education.
They cut pensions by 30%.
What I have said...
Is that what you say? You're going to use him as a template?
So Argentina is a different country from the UK. But
Jesus. So as soon as, like she said, we should be like Argentina. And then as soon as you give an example of what Argentina is doing, then she's like, well, we can't be like Argentina. We're different. So as soon as she receives a little bit of pushback, she's like, oh, no, that's not what I mean. You know, this is the person who never does any gaffes, remember?
But what Javier Milei did was he was honest with the public that I'm going to do some difficult things and it will work. He didn't say I'm going to give everybody what they want to vote for me, which is what Reform are doing and what Labour did previously. What I'm going to do is be honest with the public.
The Tories are now going to be honest with the public. So after spending decades of lying to people, now Kemi Badenoch is going to be honest with the public. This is the same one who supported Brexit and still thinks Brexit was a good idea. She's been honest with the public. Recently, when she was a government minister, she wasn't very honest with the public when it came to the Canadian High Commissioner. The Canadians have said, hey, these negotiations are not going forward because of you. And Kemi Badenoch, no, it's nothing to do with that. So, yeah, we need to trust in the Conservatives once again.
Here is the plan. Here's what we're going to do. This is how it's going to work. And there will be winners. There will also be some people who don't win, who find it difficult, but we will all be better off in the long term.
So some people will be better off. Other people will not be better off, but we'll all be better off. Does that make any sense to people? Maybe it doesn't make, maybe I'm not understanding the narrative here.
And that requires serious planning, serious thinking. That's what I admire about him, that he didn't lie to people. He didn't say winter fuel payment's going to be safe and then snatch it away immediately after. He didn't say things that he couldn't deliver.
Okay, look, why can't she just come up with a policy of her own? Why does she have to copy and paste other stuff? Now, when it comes to Argentina, there are fundamental problems with this. First of all, Argentina had an inflation rate of 250%. Just think about that for a moment. 250%. And she says we need to be like Argentina. Well, you're comparing apples and oranges here. The economy in Argentina is completely different to the UK economy. Why are you trying to emulate Argentina? Now, the inflation rate did come down due to austerity, changes, deregulation, stuff like that. So he has succeeded, it seems, so far. Now, we don't know the long-term impact it's going to have. It could be a bit of a blip. You could see a real change in society, and then things get worse. Or it could get better. We'll have to, hold back on judgment for that. But when she says some people, what she's referring to, of course, is the people in Argentina who are stuck in poverty, who will not be able to get out of it. And this impacts, for example, public services and healthcare, which very poor people can't access in Argentina. So while the middle class have probably done better off, and some people have been lifted out of poverty, and of course the richest got richer in Argentina, the very poorest people, and there's still a significant portion of them, have actually got worse. They're in a worse position. But Kemi Badenoch will be okay with that because, well, she needs to copy and paste a few policies. This party, the Conservatives, want to sell you two things. Don't think about the past, and at the same time, we're fresh and new. We're copying, pasting policies from all over the world, which we think are working. But remember, Britain is different. Okay, there are a few different positions there. I'm having trouble putting them all together. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.